no, I'm not going to fight her. This isn't my battlefield. I have to try again. And she walks away. And Kube, he just kind of turns back. He's smiling. And he's like, wait a minute. He's like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? And then he realizes, like, you're from a different timeline, aren't you? That's what you're... No! And she resets it again. And she resets it again. But Kube now has this knowledge of, like, oh, shit, you've been resetting this. You're preventing the inevitable over and over and over and over again. And that's what Homura has done. And we're back at this, whatever this timeline is. Let's go ahead and get to it. My review, my spoiler review, my scene by scene breakdown to Madoka Magica episode 10. We're in the double digits, baby. But to give you a brief recap of the previous episode, a lot of shit happened, chat. So as you know, Sayaka, she's become a witch. You know, she did not refill her soul gem with the necessary witch's grief seeds, and this caused her very soul to turn black. And I'm pretty sure she killed some people beforehand, chat. I don't know about those two guys in the subway. I think they're both dead. I haven't heard from them since, and I think she killed those people. Any case, she's transformed into a witch, which Kube, of course, has been keeping that a secret this entire time. That these magical girls are doomed to always become witches inevitably. But in an effort to try to save Sayaka, Kyoko, and Madoka went to help her, but Sayaka was too far gone. Turns out it was impossible at least at this point, to reverse the process of becoming a witch and returning the person to a magical girl. Kyoko was mortally wounded in the battle, just fucking sliced across the gut, intestines coming out, just vomiting. Homura shows up. Homura always showing up at the 11th hour. They do explain in this episode why she's always showing up at the 11th hour and stuff, which is pretty cool. But Kyoko's like, you gotta take her. I gotta end this. Homura takes Madoka out of there, and Kyoko, she destroys her soul gem in this final attack against Sayaka, killing herself, but also slaying witch Sayaka in the process. Of course, in the previous episodes, also revealed as to why Kube is doing these things. We kind of understand his motivations. He belongs to this extraterrestrial race, this alien race, who has realized that energy within the universe, the cosmos itself, is finite. It's not infinite, right? And it's been slowly going away, and potentially, in their view, in their minds, doom the universe. And so they've gotten so powerful over time that they're able to imbue people with certain types of energy in order to combat entropy. And they find Earth, and they realize that young women, young girls, who are going through the process of eventually becoming young women, they are just the thing that they've been looking for. And they imbue them with these abilities, have them combat these witches so they can become witches themselves, which they then create a massive source of energy for the universe itself. But Kube and his species have basically been lying to these people the entire time in an effort in their minds to save the universe. But because they are so advanced, they've evolved to a point where they don't understand emotions. They're emotionless beings, and they don't understand even like the concept of lying. They're just like, listen, this is all, it's for the greater good. It's like in Hot Fuzz chat. Like we killed all those kids. We killed all those people. We got rid of the human statue guy because it was for the greater fucking good. And so instead of criticizing me and my entire race, you should be saying, thank you, Kube. And then I would say, you're welcome, Madoka. And that's what's been going down this entire time. Right? But in this episode, chat, it's a little different. It's a little different because we start with Homura. Waking up in a bed, and she's in the hospital. But she's not the Homura that we know, the very dour, but at the same time, confident and powerful magical girl. Here, she's a total fucking nerd. Like, she gets out of bed, immediately starts tripping over herself. Apparently, we learned that she has been suffering from some sort of illness. She has some sort of heart disease, and it's kind of made her weak. And she's been out of school for quite some time, sometimes months on end. And so she doesn't have a lot of friends. She finds social situations difficult and very intimidating. And she just comes across as shy and awkward. And she's kind of escaped into like books and things. But she goes to school, and her whole design is different. Like, she's hunched over. Instead of like her long black hair being very straight, it's in these like giant braids that kind of stick out in either end. She's got these big, thick Coke bottle glasses. Chat makes her eyes just look like the whole time. And she's introduced in the class. The teacher introduces her, and she can barely say her goddamn name. But thankfully, these kids are at least initially not too mean to her or anything. And they try to talk to her, ask her about herself, and she's trying her best to explain, but she struggles with saying just sentences in general. But Madoka notices her and befriends her. And Madoka herself is very kind. This is very kind, very self-confident, and very welcoming. Kind of like the opposite of what we saw with Madoka in the first episode. The opposite of what we've seen of Madoka so far in the first 9 episodes of this series. But, she's trying to comfort and stuff, but in homeroom and initial classes. And eventually they go to the gym. But Herman, she's a goddamn klutz. She can barely fucking run. She's like, oh, Jesus, oh, God. She's got that kind of run where her fucking arms are flopping. Looks like she's squiggling and wiggling half the time. But she's struggling in sports. She's bad at math because she's been out of school for so long. Plus, I don't blame her. They got letters in the math equation. I'm like, listen, once we get to letters in math, I'm like, come on. I have not used letters in math, since, I don't know, college, undergrad. It's like, I haven't used them since. There's been no situation when I've had to use them since, okay? Not saying there wouldn't be a situation you got to use them. Of course. You're a mathematician, equation scientist. Of course. But me, no. And so I don't blame her for being like, what the fuck does this even mean? I was like, no, thank you. But she's not very good at math. She almost passes out at gym. People start kind of like making fun of her and things. But then other people remind her, admit, you have some kids that come in and say like random tertiary characters, like, it'd be fair. Come on. Don't be too hard on her. She's gone through a rough time. I think she has some sort of disease. Is she infected? Is she gross? Like, no, something to do with her heart. And I'm like, okay, all right, whatever. As long as she doesn't sit with me at lunch, then it's okay. And, again, Madoka tries to lift her spirits and stuff, and she, like, takes her to the nurse, and, Hamura's, like, really downtrodden. Madoka's like, listen, I know this has kind of been a rough day for you, but, hey, I'm here for you. I got a lot of friends, and I want you to be my friend as well. You ever want to talk or something, let us know. We're here for you, Hamura. It's like, oh, it's sweet. But, Hamura, she's on her way home. And she's walking home, and again, she's just depressed. She's depressed. She's downtrodden. Everything, in between. And as she's walking, she's just saying to herself, "It's like I don't even know why I even try. I even know why I got out of bed in the morning." And then suddenly, this little voice says, "Yeah, you're right. Maybe you should just kill yourself." And she's like, "What? Who said that?" And the voice says, like, "Yeah, you should just kill yourself. No one would care if you're gone. I mean, look at you, useless. You can barely get out of bed. You're always sad. You're always moping. You're bad at math. I mean, you're dumb. You're not good at sports. Oh, you're a loser. Yeah, you should just kill yourself." And she's like, what? And then she starts to realize her entire environment starts shifting and changing around her. And she has wandered into a witch's labyrinth, which is cool because we see, I guess for the first time, because we see how people have been influenced by witches, like the witch's kiss and stuff, and people reacting to them as they're saying this, but you've never seen it from the perspective of someone who's being influenced by a witch. And so it's like they literally talk to you, right? And they use different voices and things, which is very disturbing. And she walks in this witch's labyrinth, and it's all like sketch drawings. It's like outlines of characters, and it's all done in like pencil and marker. It's really cool, this particular labyrinth. And these creatures, these pencil, drawings are about to like attack her. And she obviously freaks out and she tries to get away, but she's stumbling. She's a klutz and everything. But thankfully, she's saved. She's saved at the last minute by magical girls, chat, by mommy. We fucking got mommy Tomei, chat. She's back. She's like, stand back, girl. I got you. But she is joined by another magical girl, an even more powerful magical girl, chat, Madoka. We see Madoka, and she's absolutely brilliant. She's showing off all her cool magical girl Sailor Moon moves. She's got a fucking bow and arrow. She's like, don't worry, Herman, we got you. Boom! And they end up killing this witch. They kill its familiars and everything. And Hermera's like, what's going on? What is this? And they explain, like, yeah, this, we're magical girls. She's like, what does that mean? She's like, don't worry, we'll explain it all to you. They go back to mommy's apartment. And they talk about, like, everything that we've heard before, like with magic girls, the contracts they made with Kube, and how they battle witches and familiars and things, and they do it to protect their cities, to protect the world, protect their friends and families, and they're imbued with these amazing abilities. And Hermera is just so enamored with all of it. She thinks it's so cool. And she doesn't, and they say, like, yeah, you could become a magical girl too if you want. She's a little unsure about that. She's like, oh, I don't really know. It's like, go with us a couple times and we'll show you the ropes. We'll show you how it's all done, right? And it's like, hey, all you gotta do is just make a deal with Kube and he'll give you these amazing powers, no strings attached. It's amazing, right? And we immediately cut. To this fight with Valpurgisnacht. Valpurgisnacht has arrived, chap. Valpurgisnacht has arrived, and he's killed Mommy. Mommy's been disemboweled. Didn't have her head chopped off this time, which is a nice change of pace, but she is horrifically disemboweled. All of her intestines are all over the place. Hermera's like, oh my fucking God, this is horrible. What are we gonna do? And Monica's like, listen to me, okay? And at this point, like, Madoka and Hermera have been, like, we montage and stuff. They've been really good friends. They've been opening up to each other and everything. And, for the first time in a long time, Hermera actually feels a connection to somebody, right? And so, especially to Madoka. And Madoka says, it's okay. I'm going to stop this witch. And, like, Hermera says, you can't do this on your own. She's like, I know that, but I still have to try. And she defeats Valpurgisnacht, but she dies in the process. She uses all the energy she has. She uses her soul gem. Boom, she's dead. Valpurgisnacht dies too. And we see Hermera just crying over the broken body of Madoka. Crying over the broken body, saying, like, you were my best friend. You were my only, you were the first friend I've had in so long. You made me feel something. You gave me a sense of purpose, and she, like, I love you. Like, in that kind of way, sisterly kind of way. And then, chat, we hear him before we see him. And he says, well, you can save her if you want to. And she turns around and she sees Kube. And she's like, how? How can I do that? And Kube's like, you can do that by making a contract with me. You can become a magical girl. And she's like, oh God, she's just unsure. She doesn't know. And she's like, how do I do it? How do we do it? She's like, you just got to make a wish for something that you want. And then you can have the powers. You can have the powers to maybe save her. You can try. And Amura's like, okay. And she makes this wish. And her wish is, I want to redo my meeting with Madoka and protect her. I want to protect my friend. And Kube, his eyes, like, glow. They get bigger. They glow even a deeper red. And he goes, oh, your wish is granted. And Hermera is imbued with this immense power. She transforms and everything. And Kube is like, this is a very special wish. Your wish surpasses entropy. This is what I've been looking for. And then she resets it. And she starts from when she's in the hospital. We have a Groundhog's Day situation, chat, in Madoka Magica. And a new timeline is established. And it's like, oh, shit. That's why I think it was in episode 7 or 8, I want to say, where Kube's like, oh, shit, this isn't the original timeline, is it? And it's not. Far from it, my friends. But a new timeline is established, and it starts where Homura wakes up in the hospital bed. She's like, she wakes up, but she has her soul gem in her hand. And she's like, okay, it's gonna be different now. And so kind of goes through the same day, but now she's a little more confident in herself based on her experiences with Madoka and Mommy, of course, and the friendship they had for however long that initial timeline was. And she introduces herself, and she immediately spots Madoka, and then, like, weirdly kind of, like, goes over to her, and she's like, Madoka, it's so good to see you again. I'm a magical girl. And everyone's like, what the fuck's a magical girl? And Madoka's like, oh, it's a club. We're just joking. We're friends, you know. We're just really excited to be magical girls, you know, Sailor Moon and all that, right? She's trying to, like, you know, play it off. But, you know, she establishes that they, you know, they're magic girls, and Homura wants to work together with her. Homura is not great at being a magical girl at first, chat. She's super clumsy, again, very awkward. She can barely fucking run. She's got linguini arms and linguini legs, just flopping around, tripping over everybody. But the one thing she's really good at is making improvised explosive devices. Apparently, she had a lot of knowledge about this beforehand, and she apparently spends her time making bombs, like pipe bombs and shit, right? And she stores them, and we've seen this before. Her magical, like, gauntlet, that circular thing, right, that she wears, kind of like Captain America's shield, but apparently it's like this endless bag where she's able to put all sorts of weapons and devices and bombs and objects inside of it. And she's the finisher for their various witch battles. And so she's with Mommy and she's with Madoka, and they're battling this one witch, which I'm not joking, chat. I'm not being hyperbolic here, but the witch literally shoots things out of her vagina. Like, the witch is this giant, like, skirt. It's a giant skirt, like a waist, nothing at top, nothing there, but it has these long fucking thick legs, and it just kind of reels back and it just starts shooting monstrosities out of her vagine. Okay? I know I exaggerate a lot in these reviews. I'm not exaggerating here. Dat Chicken Wayne can confirm for me. But as they're fighting, as they're distracting the witch vagine, they say, all right, Homura, now's your time. And so Homura, she comes to the finisher. She takes a pipe bomb, and she throws it, and it goes in between the legs of the witch into the vagine and explodes. She blows up the witch's vagina. And everyone's like, yeah, this is great. This is going wonderful. It's wonderful. It's like, yeah, nothing can stop us. And then we immediately cut to the battle with Valpurgisnacht, right? Mommy is dead. She's been cut in half. No one knows where her head is at this point. Madoka is mortally wounded. Her soul gem is pitch fucking black, and she just starts going, and she turns into this giant Leviathan-sized witch. Like, it's out of a H.P. Lovecraft novel. She's so big you can't even see exactly what she is. She's just this. She looks almost like this black Cthulhu like monolith in the background, right? And Homura sees Kube observing this, and he's just like, finally, this is what we've won. This is what I've wanted for so long. It's happening. He stares at Homura. It's like, isn't it great? Isn't it wonderful? And she's like, oh my God, this little thing tricked us. We've been tricked by Kube. He's turning magical. He turns people into magic girls so they then can become witches. And she's like, I got to reverse it. I got to go back in time. And we have a new timeline. We have a new timeline now, chat. And she's like, okay, shit. So establish a new timeline. I'm just going to go and tell them the truth at this point. But in this timeline, because of certain things that she did, Sayaka is now also a magical girl as well, right? And she goes and she meets with Mommy, she meets with Madoka, she meets with Sayaka. And Sayaka, who already has, as we've seen, numerous trust issues and self-confidence issues, she questions Homura and her motivations. And she just, she doesn't believe her. She doesn't believe her. And, apparently also Homura learns of another magic girl, Kyoko, and Sayaka in this timeline doesn't like Kyoko either. And then they also start just criticizing Homura's skills in battle. You know, she's constantly like using these bombs and things, these pipe bombs, and it's very dangerous. And they want her to, like, explosive devices and things. And they want her to, like, can you do something a little different? And so this is cool. She's also able to, like, to freeze time. We see that in certain sequences. She's able to freeze time, which is really fucking cool power, and, like, kind of go anywhere she wants where everything else remains frozen in place, like, across the world. And so she goes to, like, these Yakuza dens with these Japanese gangsters and, like, starts stealing all their firearms, like their pistols, their shotguns, their assault rifles. She puts all this shit into her gauntlets chat. She then trains herself over time to become incredibly proficient because she has infinite amount of time now because of her wish and because of her unique ability. So she trains herself to use all of these firearms. But at some point, Sayaka becomes a witch. She becomes the same witch that we saw in the timeline that we've been in for quite some time. That one, the music, the composer, the conductor witch, right? And she's teamed up with Madoka. She's teamed up with Mami. She's teamed up with Kyoko. They're all working together to take down Sayaka, and they have to kill her. They inevitably kill her. And Kyoko is just straight up, she's just kind of like so disgusted by what they did. She's like, is this what it is? And I was like, are we all going to become this thing? Is this our fate? And then boom, she gets shot in the fucking face. She gets shot in the face, and her soul gem, which is around her neck, also just gets shot off, and she dies. And everyone's like, what? And they all look at Mami. She's like, we're fucking monsters. We're all fucking monsters, and this is the way it's going to be. We all need to die. Mami has lost it. She's gone completely insane. She's pointing her guns at everybody. She's panicked. She doesn't know who to keep her gun on at this point. She looks at Herman. She's like, you, I gotta kill you. We gotta end it right here. We gotta stop it. And Herman's trying to calm her down, right? But thankfully, because Mami's so distractive, Madoka, she just fucking pulls out her goddamn bow and goes, boop, explodes her face. Explodes Mami's head, and Mami dies. And the only two that are left now, like, because Sayaka's dead because she became a witch, Kyoko got shot by Mami, and Mami got shot by Madoka. And so Herman and Madoka are the only ones that are left, and they're like, fuck. Okay, listen, this is messed up. Kube tricked us, but we need to stop because Valpurgis. Now, always goes back to Valpurgisnacht, yeah. We got to stop Valpurgisnacht, all right, because he's coming. And I think combined, we can defeat him. And then we immediately cut. They do kill him. But they are both mortally wounded. They're both mortally wounded, and they're dying. And the city is completely destroyed. Like, and perhaps the entire country of Japan has been destroyed at this point. It's like fucking 25 Godzillas just waddled into Japan, said, we're going to just eradicate all of this. And they do. They completely devastate the entire city. It's a wasteland. Millions, if not tens of millions of people are now dead across Japan. And Madoka and Herman are dying. And they both ask each other. They have grief seeds. They can heal themselves. They don't. And Herman is just like, at least we stop this and we can die. But then Madoka says, we can't stop it. She's like, what do you mean? It's like, it can't end this way. Too many innocent people are dead. There needs to be another way. And she does have a grief scene, and she heals Homura and her soul gem. And she says, you need to find a way to stop this. You need to stop Kube. You need to prevent me. So much of this is leading back to me and me becoming either a witch or all of this destruction, all these innocent people dying. You need to go back and maybe prevent me from becoming a magic girl. Maybe that will fix this. And Homura is like, I'll try. And right before, because Madoka starts going, she's going to become a witch now because her soul gem's about to break. And so Homura she mercy kills her, blows her fucking head off. Blows her head off, destroys the soul gem, prevents it from happening. And then we establish a new timeline. We establish another new timeline. And who knows? The thing is, though, chat, like, we don't know how many timelines have been established now. Like, she keeps going back, trying new things. And this is a Groundhog's Day situation. And for those that don't know about Groundhog's Day, we don't, in the movie itself, we don't know how long Bill Murray's character's been trapped in this loop. We don't. Now, apparently, it's been said by different people that have worked on the film, both the writers and things. Some people have said it was 8 years, which is a significant amount of time. Just 8 years reliving that. It's a long time. Harold Ramis, I believe, who directed the movie, he said Bill Murray was trapped in there for 10,000 years in that time loop, reliving the same day over and over and over and over and over again. And so I think it's very much the case with Herman as well. And by the time we see Herman in this new timeline, she has become hardened. We see her as she is in the series that we've seen up to this point, right? She's hardened. She changed her entire look. She's got that 1,000-yard stare. She's no life in the eyes, just dead. Just dead. Her personality is hardened, very dark and depressed. And she's now saying, like, I need to do this by myself. Like, these women, these girls, they can't become magical girls because it's too much of a risk now at this point. I need to do this alone. So she trains herself. She steals as many weapons as she possibly can, using her powers, imbues herself with all these things. And she believed that I can stop Valpurgis. I can do this. She can't. She can't. And funny enough, this part of the episode, we start in the initial part of episode 1, where we see Madoka, where you think it's actually a dream, and she's running, and she sees Hamura fighting the witch, which we now know is Valpurgis, and Kube's there, and Kube's saying, like, she's not strong enough to defeat him. She can't defeat him. And, like, Madoka's like, how can't she? Like, what could be done? What is this? What's going on? And he tells her, it's like, I can help you. I can make you a magical girl. And Hamura, she hears this, and she's like, no, don't listen to him. Don't do it. And, like, the Valpurgis now, like, fucking hits her so goddamn hard, knocks her to the ground, knocks her out like a light. As Madoka is talking to Kube, seemingly granting her wish. She comes to, and Valpurgis is dead. But she sees off in the distance that Madoka has become this giant Leviathan cosmic being at this point. And she approaches Kube, who's just looking at it. And he, again, his beady little red eyes, a little smile on his face. And he just says to himself, but also to her, and he's just like, isn't she beautiful? She's everything I was looking for and more. Look at her. And it's like just giant Leviathan size cosmic entity. And he just says in such a nonchalant way, he's just like, she'll probably consume the entire planet and kill all the species here. Obviously humanity will die, but you know, it's for the greater good. It's for the greater good. And Kube turns his head, and Hamura's is looking so downcast because she's been here before. She's probably seen this thousands, millions of times, billions of times. We don't even know. And he goes, aren't you going to try to fight her? And she goes, no, I'm not going to fight her. This isn't my battlefield. I have to try again. And she walks away. And Kube, he just kind of turns back. He's smiling, and he's like, wait a minute. He's like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? And then he realizes, like, you're from a different timeline, aren't you? That's where you're no, and she resets it again. And she resets it again. But Kube now has this knowledge of, like, oh shit, you've been resetting this, you're preventing the inevitable over and over and over and over again. And that's what Hamura has done. And we're back at this, whatever this timeline is. The 1,000th time, the millionth time, the billionth time, the trillionth time. Like, we don't even know how long she's been doing this for. She's probably been doing this for hundreds of years, thousands of years, millions of years, billions of years. We don't know. She's been trapped trying to figure out a way to fix this, to prevent Kube from doing this. And we see this montage of her doing all sorts of different things, telling Madoka not to do this, going around, killing Kube as many times as he can, but he always fucking seemingly is popping up, and he's always going like, why are you trying to kill me? What the fuck, bitch? What's going on? Why are you a magic girl? Who are you? And all this. He doesn't understand. But he pieced it together each time, but then he dies. And then, but inevitably, the world is always, it's either the world's always ending, it's always Madoka is either becoming this witch, Hamura is mortally wounded, so she has to reverse it. And she's just kind of stuck She's just kind of stuck in this infinite loop trying to figure everything out. And that, my friends, is my review, my spoiler review, my scene by scene by scene breakdown to Madoka Magica episode 10. What a great fucking episode. A great episode. I mean, Groundhog's Day, but that's fine. The way in which they do it, the way in which they handle it, I think it's very well done. Very well done. Really like the reveal of what's actually going on. And I love Kube's like, fuck, you're reversing time, aren't you? He's like, God damn it, stop doing that. Yeah, there we have it. This is Homura's purgatory, her hell, reliving her, countless times, all these deaths, watching her friends die over and over and over. That's why she knows everybody, too. That's why and now it makes sense now, because I'm like, why is she always showing up at like this exact time at the 11th hour, right before things? Because she's already been here. She's already been here. And who knows how many times she's been there. Like in these individuals, like so many variables, so many variations. It's staggering. It's horrifying, right? Like she knows these people so intimately, so well, you know, seeing all these different things again and again and again. But this is the first time they know her. And so that's also why she has the attitude that she has, because she's so cut off. She has to be cut off now. Because now it's not even about like trying to save my friend. It's about trying to save the fucking world. I don't know what the hell to do anymore, you know? The only thing that she knows is to reset. Yeah, it's like Loki. Loki's nothing. Loki was also caught in a Groundhog's Day situation. Very much so. Very much so. It's a good point. Edgy Berserker Kevin. It's super grim. By the way, but you know what's not grim? Edgy Berserker's birthday. Happy birthday to you, Edgy Berserker. I just want to go ahead and say that you are an amazing person. You're so kind. You're so passionate. You're very intelligent. You bring so much great stuff, obviously, to this community, but obviously to your own work and content and streams. It's so good to have you here. I hope you're doing very, very well. Chat, again, I implore you to check out Edgy Berserker's content, follow her, subscribe to her, commission her for artwork. In celebration of Edgy Berserker's birthday today, we're going to be doing watch parties. We're going to be doing watch parties for the Fatal Fury trilogy. I got all the films. They're all on YouTube. We're going to watch the dub versions. Very entertaining anime movies. So we're going to do all that. Can't wait. Each year I get closer and closer to becoming a mummy. No. Not at all. It's just a number. It's just a number. You're as young as it comes down how you feel. This episode flipped the script completely, blurs the line between who is the actual main protagonist. Yeah, it kind of does. Like, you realize you think so much of it. Oh, what's also cool is there is no, like, intro to this episode. The intro plays at the very end of the episode, which I thought was interesting. But I like that, though. I was like, oh, shit. But, yeah, you're right. You realize that, yeah, Madoka, probably, even though it's called Madoka Magica, she's not, like, the main character. You realize it has been Homura the whole time. Because everything that we've seen is because of her trying to fix this situation. But, you know, it's, at least at this point, at the moment, you know, it seems impossible. Kube seems to know, just like, he's got everything. He's like, Madoka, she's the fucking thing I've been looking for. I've traveled the entire universe, the entire cosmos to find something to combat entropy, to create this infinite source of energy. And I found it. And somehow Homura's got to figure out a way to stop. I think the only thing that and this is my own speculation, I think the only thing that can be done is that Homura needs to kill Madoka. That's it. I don't know if that's what happens. I have not looked ahead. This is just my pure speculation. I feel like that's what you got to kill her. That's it. You know, I mean, Kube will still keep going around creating these magical girls and witches and things like that. But this, with her, it's like, that's the only thing you can do. Because it's not just like her friend. Initially, it started out of her just wanting to save her friend, this person that she loves. But now it's like the fucking world's at stake. And from my perspective, the only answer to this problem is you got to kill her. You know? Because I don't know what else to do. There might be something. She might pull something out of her ass, but I don't know what it is yet. But it's a great episode. This oh man, this might be my favorite one. Yeah, I know I keep saying that. This is my favorite episode. This is my favorite episode. This might be my favorite one. Yeah, it's very good. How they handle it. They take they take a trope that was obviously, maybe not created, but certainly popularized by Groundhog Day, but they do their own unique spin on it. It makes it super entertaining and super fun and super depressing and dark. But yeah, really good, really good. And thank you again to Dad Chickaway and Isaac Stevenson for suggesting it. Good stuff.